Alrighty. Welcome to Wheel Life Problems presented by Wheelchair Gamer. I'm Ricky. That's Bill. That's John. Shit. That's Wheels. That's Glitched. And
Bill,
we're Wheel Life
aka
Problems.
Wheels.
Yep.
I gotta keep it matched up with what it says on the banner because I people are gonna get confused when I keep calling you Bill and John. They're like, who is he talking to? When it says Wheels and Glitch straight underneath the banner.
I know, right?
I actually realized something else, guys. It's actually at Problems Wheel. I just didn't I switched. I'm on a different overlay that was since updated, but I'll have to switch that out on the next one because I just noticed that because I put
What?
the problem wheel is not the tag. It's actually at Problems Wheel, and I have
There's an S missing.
I have a different
Eh.
logo. I have a different overlay that I forgot to switch to, as professional as I am, guys. So.
I see it now, yeah.
Oh well.
Problem wheel. Well, if you type in problem wheel, you'll probably still find us. I don't know how many other problem wheels there are. But, all right. Welcome back to the show. How's your guys' week been?
Mine's been decent.
Pretty good. Pretty
Fine.
good.
Oh, yeah? What makes it decent and good? Lay on me some juicy deets.
Well, for me, I got my Minecraft server back up and running. I'm running the Direwolf 20 1.16 pack, mod pack, and it's been fun.
Sound like you were like talking about parts of a car. You're like, I got the 4-liter Hemi Minecraft .1457 trans. I don't know.
Something like that.
I don't know how to talk Minecraft. Mm-hmm. What about you, Wheel?
Yeah,
Wheels.
we're forgetting S's this week. That's our thing. Yeah, it was pretty busy. I mean, mostly working from home. Not the most exciting thing. I take orders for the IRS. Whoop-de-doo. Which is just
What kind of stuff do they have you do? Are you
What?
like, are you busting down doors and like demanding people pay you money?
Yeah, I'm doing that from my house. You know, we send out drones and then we, you know,
I
equipped
don't
with
know, man. Could be a
firepower.
thing.
No, no. Essentially, people call up. They want to order tax forms, and then I get them the tax forms. And today, speaking of that, I was told that I was a smart young lady by
All right. Well,
some old lady.
why? What makes you a smart old lady? What did you do
Or
to
smart.
convince the customer you were?
She called me a smart woman because I helped her out with figuring something out with what form she needed, and apparently my voice comes off as feminine to some people, but I think it was probably because she is old and probably does have some hearing difficulties, so maybe, maybe it's easy to mistake someone. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to mistake. Your voice is very testicle ridden. Like, there's no denying that there's a wiener behind that voice.
It's very testicle driven. That's our new descriptive adjective.
I mean, it's true.
Well, I mean, I'd
So,
rather them be saying that than and then I just don't understand where the ma'am thing's coming from. And I mean, if I'm saying my name is William, I would think starting there, how many girls do you know named William?
see, the bad thing would be if they looked at your face and just still called you a woman, and you're like, oh, well,
Well
it's time to
then,
make some changes in my life.
yeah, apparently.
Yeah, cool. Well, glad you guys have had a good week. Mine has been lethargic. Done nothing. Well, I mean, I've done stuff, but done nothing, seen nothing. I've put myself on lockdown for the past 2 weeks because I'm trying to go see my grandma. So, oh no, wait, I got a COVID test yesterday. There we go. That's exciting.
And it was, what do you get results?
Tomorrow, Saturday.
Ah,
We'll
gotcha.
see. Yeah. So, trying to go see my grandma without killing her. So,
Well, that's nice. I'm glad that you're thinking of someone else besides yourself.
I know it's pretty rare. I'm a very selfish and very egotistical person.
Well, you heard it right here, guys. You heard it right here. So just keep that in
Mm-hmm.
mind for the duration of this program.
Oh yeah, anyone here on the chat have anything to chime in? How was your weekend? We're all wow. We got a
Did you
huge audience today.
did you do anything exciting? I know we have like a 500,000 people here, but
I
This
know,
might be our
right?
this might be our biggest audience yet.
man, what I think the problem is, and you know why I think Twitch channels don't grow is that if you don't have an OnlyFans, like let's face it, you're not going to grow, and if it's just how it works. It's just how that works, right? That's just how Twitch works, right?
Who says I don't have an OnlyFans?
Oh, well, hey. After the stream.
I was hoping to drop it at the end, but okay. Check out my OnlyFans at Rickles Gets Nude.
Next week,
Wow.
watch where something goes.
I know you
See,
could have heard.
see, here's the thing. I can't have an OnlyFans because they'd pay me to put my clothes back on.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
I'd look at those nips if I had a chance.
you say that very confidently.
I confidently said it so. Yeah.
Oh,
All
boy.
right. So, if you can't tell by today's description, today's topic is driving with a disability. So, driving with a disability. What does that mean to you guys?
Well, ability to be able to get places and the freedom to do so, which I think is pretty much what everybody enjoys about driving in general.
For me, that means playing Mario Kart with my friends.
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of like Mario Kart. Or has anybody ever seen that the scene where the in Wolf of Wall Street where he got really screwed up and he drove the car? Maybe something like that would happen. Just to make light of the situation. I mean, shit,
Mhm.
I can see and I still am kind of borderline like, hey, maybe this guy shouldn't be on the road. Like
Right.
I've been told I drive too fast. I've had a number of speeding tickets, so
Have you?
yeah, but I've calmed down.
How many tickets have you gotten?
Over my course of driving, at least four, at least four.
What does the officer say when he just sees you in a wheelchair?
Well, okay. The first time he was like, the one time he was like, "You were driving really fast," and it was a road that, well, you know of the road. It's a road called Spriggs that people constantly drive at 60 miles per hour, which it is not 60 miles per hour on there. It's like 45 miles an hour. Anyways, I got pulled over doing like 70 on there, and yeah, that wasn't
Jeez,
good.
were you doing 70 when it was still 2 lanes or when it moved over to 4 lanes?
Um, I think it was still a 2 lane then, but
Holy shit,
234
and
is
you're doing
where
70 in a 2 lane?
I think so. No, maybe it
That's a
wasn't that
pretty
high there. It was like 60 or something. Anyways, he pulled me over and he was just like, you were going really fast, and then not even 2 weeks later, he's like, "Why am I pulling you over again?" It's like, slow the fuck
It was
down.
the same cop?
Yeah, he was like, slow down. I also
Jesus
got another
Christ.
ticket on. Well, I almost got a ticket on Purcell. One time, which is crazy. Like, you shouldn't even be going fast on that road. By the way, for anybody that doesn't know what road I'm talking about, this is a windy ass road that's dangerous.
Pretty windy.
Yeah. So, yeah. I've had some experience. I had a speeding ticket this year too, because I was on the Parkway and I was just I was going way too fast, so fought that. We I didn't get in trouble for that. It was going to be a reckless, but thank God it wasn't. But yeah, I'm definitely trying not to do that anymore.
Yeah, probably a smart idea. I'm sure the points on your license will appreciate that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Did you have to take driver improvement courses?
I've had to do that before. Like I had to do it was like an aggressive driving thing just to get some points decreased. Yeah, so I've had some stupid stuff that I've done when it comes to speeding
Well,
or
slow down.
driving.
What about you? What about you, Glitched? Do you have any experience behind the wheel at all?
Nope. I mean, do you really think it would be safe for me to?
No, but I'm just wondering if there's like any kind of experiences with cars that you have had that's worth of note or that comes to memory, you know? I'm sure like
I mean, there was a classic cars rally that I was a part of as a navigator.
Hmm.
say again?
As a navigator, it was a
Oh.
classic cars rally. They did this thing back at Texas School for the Blind where they had each blind person paired up with a driver of a classic vehicle, and we had to navigate to specific locations,
Hmm.
stuff like
So you're almost like the co-pilot of a rally car.
yeah,
Huh. That's pretty neat. How often did you do that?
just once.
Did
How
you
did
like it?
Wasn't bad.
how did that work though? How exactly did you navigate? Like what were you just telling them like go left, go right sort of thing?
Yeah, I was the human GPS.
And what was the end goal of this? Was this a race or was it just literally just kind of like the all right, you're in this passenger seat, navigate this guy down the street now.
It was a checkpoint rally race.
And what place did you guys come in?
Fourth.
Fourth? It's not
Yep.
bad.
Nice.
I was
Against how many
I came
people?
in fourth. About 32.
Yeah. Now see if you said 4 people, then that your accomplishment would have been a lot worse.
No.
But no, that's
uh,
I only
'cause
missed top 3 by like 2 minutes, I believe.
damn. And I so obviously your blindness isn't as bad as other people's blindness. So like what did other people would like did they give you a pad with I guess you had to hold close to your face? Just I'm
Nope.
talking out of pure ignorance right here.
Braille directions.
Braille directions. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a couple pages of Braille that had the entire route listed out on it GPS style. I had to read it, and every so often we'd come to a checkpoint where there were little checkpoint challenges that we had to clear to be able to move on.
How hard is it to read Braille when you're like in a moving car? I mean,
it is.
obviously this isn't some like high speed race where you're like really shaking at things, but like I imagine it's got to be tougher than just sitting still reading Braille.
Not really.
Huh.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it any more hard than trying to read print in a moving car for most people.
Well, I guess if you're that used to reading anything, I mean, I guess it would be about the same speed.
Yeah. But do you get car sick reading Braille? That's the big question.
Nope.
I used to get horribly car sick when I would read, especially if I was in the back seat.
Oh yeah, like if I'm on that one windy road, even Purcell, I'll get a little car sick if I read my phone. Someone's driving. Oh God. Like I have to
Yeah.
literally put my phone down and stop because I'll feel sick.
Did
I've al-
you ever drive when you were walking, Bill? Or was it all straight from the wheelchair?
Um, actually, there was a little bit that I did when I was walking, but it wasn't like It wasn't very much. It was very little. Um, yeah, and I was having trouble with like doing the gas with my foot and stuff. So, well, not it wasn't the gas. It was the brake. It was mainly the brake.
What kind of trouble?
Just the muscle strength issues. Because I mean, obviously, muscular dystrophy. I mean, muscles are kind of fucked. So,
Right, yeah.
for a lack of a better way to explain that, just cut to the chase on it. But that's where we found out about the hand control, which is a push-pull control. Basically, it has a thing that goes down all the way to the pedals, and it's got clamps on the brake, and it's got clamp on the gas. You pull back, and then it pushes the gas down. You push forward, it pushes down the brake. So that's how that works.
Yeah.
So that's
So when did you start driving from in a wheelchair then?
my first experience with it was probably when I was about, I want to say 18 or so. Is when I started doing the process for the driving. I did start with the hand controls when I was walking, actually, for a little bit. I think maybe I was doing that when I was like about 15, 14, 15. I think I did some of it, but then I didn't do it again until I was like 18, and then that was when I went through the licensing process, and I don't think I got my license until I was like 20.
Really?
Yeah, so it took some time because they had to evaluate you. We had to go to this place in DC where they basically tested a bunch of different types of equipment to see if I could drive. So basically, I learned how to drive on the streets of DC, which is kind of a challenge. Like the street
No
driving,
wonder you were driving so fast. You finally had some open road.
city driving
Yeah.
sucks. City driving truly sucks.
Yeah, I had experience with city driving when I was walking, and I've driven through DC a couple times, and yeah, fuck DC. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's right. You had driving experience before. Like,
yeah.
why am I thinking like what? Like all of a sudden, I just realized I was thinking about this. I was like, well, he drove before, and I don't know why I didn't put that together because it's like he has not been in a chair as long as I have.
That's right. I
So,
too used to have working legs.
but I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that. I just wasn't thinking about it. I was like, did he ever have a license before? Like, does it become null and void now that you're? Did it become null and void or something?
Oh, actually, okay, so funny story about that is I had my license until I broke my neck. And then when my license expired and I went to go renew my ID, right? Because I figured I still have to have a renewed ID. And the lady was like, "Do you want to just renew your license so that way when you decide to start driving, you already have your license and stuff?" I was like, "That's an option? Sure, great." She's like, "Cool. All I have to do is just retake the knowledge test."
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Okay, yeah, in the bag, got it." And then she's like, "Do you want a book to look over and study before you go out there?" I was like, "No, I passed the test before. I got this." I think it was either the first or second question in, I failed it and was like, "Shit." Well, I went up to the desk. I was like, "I should have taken your advice because yeah, I failed."
Oh
You know, I've
god.
always wondered how I would do on one of those written portions, but I've never been able to take one because, well,
You know what
Well, I mean, you can
we should find the
you c
questions to one and we should ask him and see if he answers them correctly to be like, "See? Hey, if and then it's kind of funny because it'd be hilarious if you got it right on the first time because there's people that can see that can't that can't pass the damn thing. Like they have
I
to go
mean, we can
multiple
do that.
times.
We can pull up the DMV website, have you take practice tests.
That would be kind of interesting. That could, and then we could post the results on Twitter and be like, "Hey, this is what happened when we tried this."
I mean, here's a basic question. What does a triangle sign mean?
Caution, I believe.
Close. Yield.
Yeah, I knew it was a cautionary. Normally triangle signs are cautionary in some way.
That actually is true because construction sites do have
Yeah,
triangular.
they have a triangular sign.
So, yeah.
What does a circular sign that's yellow with a black X through it mean?
Would that be a closed road?
No, railroad crossing.
Okay. All right. Trying to think. And I mean, an octagon-shaped red sign.
We know this one. That's a stop sign.
Yeah.
It says what it means on the sign itself. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah. If you can't figure that out, then yeah.
Yeah, that one would be pretty fucked if you got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can think of one more to kind of gauge. Oh, I'm trying to think of one that's common and not too tricky. Um, what is the speed limit in a residential area?
What is what? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
What is the speed limit in a residential area?
45.
45?
In most cases here in Texas,
Okay.
it is 45.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that could vary because around here, isn't it like 15?
Yeah, I think it's 15 or 25.
Yeah, I think it's 25. I think it's 25 actually. Now that I think about
Because I
it.
think it's the same as a school zone.
Yeah, school zones are 25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Is school zone the same there, glitched?
Yeah.
Okay, I would imagine that's.
It's probably
Oh,
pretty standardized, I would think, for something like that. But I do know that certain things are different from state to state depending on what,
you know what we got to do is next time we got to revisit this topic and then have a bunch of list of signs pulled up and ready, and then quiz him, see how he does.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Definitely.
could be
Mm-hmm.
something fun to just kind of see. Um, but yeah, in terms of getting everything ready for driving, though, I think that there definitely is. I definitely have seen the bureaucracy in the DMV and what you have to deal with because it seems like there's a lot of bullshit that you have to put up with. At least I had to put up with to finally get to the point where I could, because getting the adaptive equipment, because that includes like finding the car. Like, so if you find the car, then it's like, can I afford this? Once you find the car, then it's like, what rehab do you go to learn how to actually drive? Then it's getting tested for it, obviously, because there's a special person that has to test you for it. It's not just any person. So you have to schedule that. So it's a whole bunch of like, there's a bunch of steps to it. And it's not, maybe it sounds pretty easy the way I'm putting it, but each of those steps can take a while you're working on that particular thing. A lot of it.
Who modded your? What was the process of modding your vehicle like?
I didn't actually get it modified. I bought it modified. So and that was costly. I mean, this was a 2010. I got it in like 2012, and it was basically brand new. I mean, it had it would still be considered new because I think it had under 50,000. Um, or whatever that amount is. There's a certain amount that's still considered new. I'm trying to think of what that would be, but it was relatively low. But anyways, it was yeah, it was like $40,000, so it was expensive. But I had my father to help me with a loan, so that definitely helped. But they're not cheap.
I mean, it was good that you didn't have to buy a car gut it and then
Yeah.
modify it that way, because then that's a whole nother beast to tackle on its own, because that's like something I'm in the process of doing right now. So
So which way are you thinking about what route are you thinking about doing with that? Are you thinking about getting something that's already modified or modifying something? Because I mean,
well, the car we have now, it's basically set up and ready to be modified. Like, all I have to do is take out the captain's chair, put in an easy lock system,
yeah.
and then get behind the wheel, get it the rest of the controls modded for it, and that should do really well. But I have my permit. Right now I just need to find a company that is equipped to handle my disability level, so I'll be able to drive
Um,
and take the road test and such.
I would check out Mobility Works of Richmond. That's who I use. Um, and if anybody's curious about if anybody is from this area, if you're from Virginia area, they're in Richmond.
They're the
Um,
ones you did the driving test with.
they're the ones for like modification, like anything with modification of
Oh,
vehicle.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, then Mobility Works, I think, already did my van already
oh, really?
for dropping the floor and getting the ramp and everything.
Yeah, because they also put easy locks in and stuff.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely Mobility Works then, yeah.
Yeah,
And for
yeah,
everyone who doesn't know that's listening, an easy lock is basically a way for a wheelchair to drive into a van, and basically there's a pin on the bottom of your wheelchair and a giant square on the floor of the car
right.
that you drive and lock yourself into. Kinda I'm trying to think of how
Yeah, so you have a bolt,
think of
like you have a bolt hanging down like this, and you like move it in, and it's like a triangular shaped thing, and then there's a mechanism that basically latches onto it, and then when you
and
press a
locks you
button,
to the
yeah,
floor.
yeah, and then when you press a button, you can actually release it. Those things are so strong that there was this one story from this one guy that I used to always go to help me. That I think he still works there. I don't know. He was a really cool guy, but he was telling me that one time there was these two sisters. They're both in wheelchairs, and the car flipped, and then they were upside down, still in their chairs, fine, and they were slapping each other back and forth, laughing after a car crash, and that's how strong those fucking things are. It did not.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so you are safe when you're in one of those. Like it's one of the safest things you could be in. But it's pretty cool because then it's like then you don't have to worry about because for some of us transfers would be like that would be crazy to even
For
attempt
some
that.
people, transfers aren't even an option, you know?
Yeah, that's not even an option. So it's nice to know that hey, I can go right from being in my house to right in my car. And it's funny when I've seen people see me deploy a ramp and then get in the car, they're like, "What the fuck?" Like they give me this look like this is a thing, like like they don't even understand. And it's just like I've had people stand there and like it's like they're sitting there looking. It's like, "Can I help you?" But
Yeah,
it's nice. It's nice to have that ability though, for sure.
because driving offers just a whole new form of independence, you know?
That's true.
And it's
Excuse me.
like, I'm sure Glitched, you can attest to this. Having to get rides everywhere must suck.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Be-
I mean, what is your main source of transportation when you go out?
What source of transportation? I don't get out.
Okay, let's say
Um,
On
you
that
do
rare
go out.
occasion that you remove your
Yeah,
bottom from that chair,
play along with the hypothetical.
like
I do have a roommate, and sometimes I do ride with him whenever he goes somewhere. Or if I need to take care of bills, we do it on his day off.
right.
Do you use Uber much at all?
Uber's too pricey for my blood.
Lyft?
Too pricey for my blood.
Um,
I've used it. I used it whenever I went to TwitchCon.
God, I
Yeah.
can't.
Used Uber.
Wow, if it's
Uh,
expensive in Texas, I don't even want to know what type of prices It was in California.
It was like $8 a ride, depending on how far I was going. $8 to $12 a ride, depending on how far I was going and what time of day it was.
Huh,
I
that
would
does.
totally pay for Uber if they came out this far. The only time I've ever been able to use Uber is in DC, where they have handicap accessible Ubers.
There's not a lot of
But
them.
there's surprisingly there's enough that it's not that big of a hassle having to order one.
Not around here
I've used,
though.
oh yeah, not around here.
Fuck
I
that. You can't.
remember I went to go meet one of my friends. Me and her were going to meet for lunch,
Yeah.
and I ordered a taxi to go all the way to Fairfax Corner, and that ride alone cost me over $40, and I was just it was fucking atrocious. It was crazy, man.
Oh my god. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. I
I
mean,
know, and just the whole hassle of having to deal with a taxi company too is awful. Because around here, they only have a limited supply of vans. I think the one taxi company that is around here has 2 vans, and
yellow cab.
they're always constantly booked. And I remember one time I ordered a taxi because I was going to a friend's wedding, and me and a couple of friends were gonna ride together in the taxi because they were planning on getting shit faced. So like, "Oh, we'll just split the taxi." And so I ordered the taxi the day before just to get everything ready and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
30 minutes to showtime, coming up, and the taxi still hadn't arrived. And we called them, and I was like, "Dude, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, we'll probably be there in like an hour, 2 hours."
What?
And I was like, "No,
What?
that's no,
What?
fuck no. I have to be somewhere in
What
20
the
minutes."
fuck? And so
And
what
so
happened?
we canceled it, and then eventually luckily my parents happened to be home at the time, so they dropped us all off.
Ah, Jesus. It's we'll be there in about an hour. 30 minutes before. That's ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah, it was
Ah.
pretty bad.
Yeah, so I mean it definitely uh, I think the thing there is it sucks depending on other people to do things. It does suck, but it's one of those things. Sometimes you have to, and there's not really a choice. But I think that's where the independence of driving is nice. Um, but sometimes I find even if I have the ability, sometimes it's nice. It is nice when someone else drives because I don't know. I just sometimes I don't feel like driving. Especially in this area, it can be a little bit frustrating at times.
How does that work for you? Do you use the same car and just put a captain seat back into where that spot is and take out the passenger seat, or do you have 2 separate cars for that?
There is a way to do that with that car, and sometimes that's the case. But we actually do have an older van that my mom ended up getting, so that she could just, if it's just her driving me somewhere, we could just do it that way. So
Gotcha.
it's just kind of a backup in case, in case shit breaks or something.
Which has happened to you, right?
Oh yeah, that's definitely happened. Yeah, I've had some fun shit happen with cars. Like, somehow I don't know who it was, but some friend, I had them fill up gas, and somehow they shoved diesel in my damn engine, and the engine blew up, and that was fun. That
How
was
the fuck do you mess that up?
I don't even know because that's like trying to um it's kind of like I don't even know how it would even work because it's like you're trying to stick something in something that doesn't fit into it. So because a diesel nozzle doesn't fit into a regular gas tank's nozzle, from what my understanding is. You'd have to
Then
like
how the
shove it in there. I don't know. I don't even know who the fuck did it. That's the shitty thing about it. And then we had to replace the whole engine in the car.
Wait, how do you not know who did it? So You ask a friend to go get you gas. They come back.
I don't remember which friend it was at the time because it happens. I I forget which. I don't know. Because I don't know how long I was driving the car before it happened, so I don't fucking know. I don't even know. I don't even know how this even happened. Like, to be honest with you, because
How much?
what was that?
How much did that cost to replace?
An engine, like a couple $1,000, at least. At
Do you have
least.
it narrowed down to at least which 3 friends you think it was?
I have some. I have a suspicion, but I don't know for sure.
Have you confronted them about it?
No, because I don't know. It was just one of those things. It was like I don't know how to deal with this situation. Like, it was bad. I mean, my dad helped me out, but he kind of had to
Yo,
take.
dude, you blew up my fucking car. That's. I would like for you to do something about this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to put it. I guess these particular friends, like I don't know how to put this. So maybe it's best to not have them ever fill up my car again, or like their brain isn't exactly. God, I'm trying not to say this and be mean though, because this is going to be on YouTube. So let's just not talk about this. Let's move on. Whoever did it, it was a fucked up situation.
They did it, and it sucks, but
And it sucks, and I don't wanna want anybody out, or
I bet you the friend that did it knows they did it, but they're just like, oh god.
Yeah, probably, that's what I'm going with on that. So I'll keep it at that. So I've had my fair share of bullshit with cars. You know,
Yeah.
that was what left me without a car for the longest time, and I had to deal with taxis. So trust me, I know how that works. Like, getting them to come out, like, I knew that I would have to call them at least 2 hours in advance to make sure they didn't fuck me over.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you have any experience with this glitch, but medical rides. Have you ever used that?
Oh, geez, no. Thankfully.
No, because even then, that's like a whole nother fucking beast to tackle. Where like
Oh God.
you, for people that don't know what medical assisted rides are, is basically it's a taxi company paid by insurance. So you basically call up, let them know you have a doctor's appointment coming up. That you set the time and things, and like, all right, we'll have someone come out, pick you up, and that is I probably worse than taxis. I feel like because every single like, only once has it worked flawlessly. But like any other time, like I've had to do that where I had to go to a doctor's appointment and I didn't have a ride any other ways. So I tried using that service. You call them like even a week in advance and be like, all right, my doctor's appointment is at 3:30. So, you tell them you have to be there at 3:30. And that's usually when the people show up. They're like, "Oh, I'm here at 3:30 to pick you up." I'm like, "No, I have a doctor's appointment. You're supposed to be here an hour ago because this is a 40-minute drive." And it's just an awful thing. And then there's also the instances where, well, okay, that happens and you learn from that. And so you start
Yeah.
telling them your doctor's appointment is an hour before it actually is, and they still manage to like fuck that up. And I remember, I remember one time some guy came to pick me up from a medical appointment, and he was just in a van, and he's just like, "All right, get in." And I was like, "Where's your wheelchair ramp?" He's like, "Oh, let me call the head office." And they're like, "All right, well, we'll have someone out there in 2 hours." I'm like, "No,
I'm not trying to laugh,
that's
but
not
it's
good
just
for
like
me."
this motherfucker comes up. Oh, hey, get in. It's like, can you see that I'm in a fucking chair? Like, let me just. Oh my God, I can walk now. All of a sudden, I can walk. Let me go in your car. You
They
know?
just
Like that's ridiculous. That's
It's just
ridiculous.
a fucking nightmare, man. Having to deal with shit. That's why
Yeah. Ugh.
getting your license, the people who drive, they hopefully they don't take it for granted because the
Yeah.
amount of freedom driving gives you is, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, it's a nice thing to be able to have for sure. Depending on
Definitely.
depending on any public transit, and I mean, um, I don't. What's your experience with public transit, Glitch? Like,
Here in Austin, great. Anywhere else?
what makes it great? Like, what is it? Just readily available, or
Yeah, it's easily accessible. It's just awesome.
like what type of services do they have? Like the bus? Do they have like a
It's a
metro?
bus.
Ah, it's a bus system, and that's what you use.
Yep,
You
it's called Capital Metro.
and you've used
How
this
often do you
quite a
use
bit.
that?
Oh, sorry.
I used
We
to
just
use
we
it
both
more
like
than I do now.
Now, Ricky.
No, you and me just literally asked him the same question, Bill.
Okay. Well, hey, there you go, guys. We got it covered. And I guess you've had a good experience with it, so that's a good thing. I mean, that's nice to know. I mean, but I guess it also depends on where you're at. Where you're at, is it more in like it's like directly in the city, right? It's not like offshoot, right? I mean, it's like I'm just wondering
Yeah.
if you're not like in a suburb.
No, I personally right now am in Austin city limits.
Gotcha. I like that show. They have some good musical performances on there.
So then you said bad. You mentioned a bad experience. Then what was that like?
Everywhere else.
Like where? You're,
Everywhere, pretty much. Everywhere else that I've lived.
but where?
Waco,
Like
nothing.
specific.
Temple, nothing. Houston, barely anything.
Really? Yeah, you think you know, one of the cities you can actually name like as like, you know, when people think of Texas, you'd think, oh, well, that'd probably be a place that'd be accessible, but I guess not.
No.
That's
Austin is the most accessible with a decent number of stops throughout the city. Pretty much anywhere in Austin, if you want to get from any point to any other point, may take you a couple of hours because public transport and bus system is slow,
yeah,
but you can get there.
right, right, and I think but I think also I think something that I've noticed is like, with my experience, and I don't know, Ricky can also attest to this probably. We're in more of like a suburb situation, and it's not like going to a bus is just not a. It's just
That's not an option for us.
it's an impossibility because it's like literally the closest bus stop to me is like a mile down the road, and we tried to
Yeah,
get
it's
it to
down
it.
Hoadley, right?
Yeah, we tried to get one where it was closer, but you know they won't do it, and that's really annoying. Um, but I mean, I don't use it, but I'm just saying it would be nice if, say, I'm in a situation where, hey, maybe someone can't drive me, and even then, the amount of stops that they have around, like, I mean, really, it's limited to where you want to go. I mean, I guess I would have to be more in the areas where they're actually, the areas where it would be accessible to me would not be places that I would want to live. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just a lot of the places where the bus stops are not in safe places.
It's a little grody.
Like I'm just talking about, you know, some of those places in Dale City. I'm talking about places across from like the rec center. You know, these are places you don't want to be after dark. Okay.
Yeah. And if you can't tell, we're pretty easy targets.
And in case you're wondering about these places, guys, these are like places that are in I don't know. There's no other nice way to put it, but the ghetto maybe, um, like some little rough areas, seedy places, that type of thing. I mean, that's kind of how that city is. If you even want to, it's just how it is. So, because they're mainly by like a lot of apartment complexes and stuff, and there are some in nice areas, but I'm just saying that it's, you know, it's very limited. It's very limited when you're in a suburb type situation.
Right. Now, the one thing that needs to hurry up and get its ass together that would benefit us all would be self-driving cars.
Right?
Yes, please hurry.
Come on, Eli. God damn it. Elon. Not Eli. Elon Musk. Whatever. You know what I was
Yeah.
talking about. The Tesla guy. Come on, man. No, I
I
mean,
mean, if we had self-driving cars, that would better the lives of so many disabled people.
the thing that I think would be great about those types of cars is that when you're dealing with like drunk situations, I mean, there'd be so many people that would wake up like, and you'd be like, how the fuck did I get in Texas? I started in Virginia. Or
Dude, you'd have to be really drunk to
but people would be showing up to places they weren't intended to go.
That's
Drunk.
if only if they type in the wrong address on the GPS, I guess.
Hey,
So yeah.
well, it could be a whole game. You see how drunk you get, and then you see, hey, where am I going to end up next? You do like they could even put something in the car where it's like a randomizer, where you're like, you can just hit like this like
GPS
shot.
roulette.
Yeah. Hey, who wants to play GPS roulette tonight? Let's get really wasted and hit this thing and see what happens. Or you just put in, or the way that you really do it is you put in a bunch of different places, and those are corresponded to certain numbers, and then you shuffle them all up, and then and then you pick the number on the keypad or whatever, and then then you see where you end up. Like that could be a whole thing. That could be a whole new drinking game. And it wouldn't be dangerous because you're not driving.
I know. I wonder. I want to see what the world looks like when it is filled with self-driving cars and it's all like, how many people are gonna be drinking and fucking in their cars?
Which one do you think would be the highest higher? Do you think the drinking or the fucking?
Drinking. You know how much easier it is to drink than it is to fuck?
Yeah, that's true.
I
Like,
can go over to 7-Eleven and I can drink, but I can't go over to 7-Eleven and fuck.
I mean, if you did, I think I think you might have to worry about your pecker after. I'm just saying.
I'll take a taquito and one pussy.
Let me have a taquito and a pussy. Would you like that behind the dumpster or in front of the dumpster?
I'll have one ripe rumpus for a romping good time.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know if 7-Eleven is going to get into the hooker business. Maybe that's a business idea. I don't know.
It'll be like Idiocracy, where Starbucks turns into a sex thing.
Yeah, and didn't they use like Gatorade to try to water plants and it killed the plants?
Yep.
I thought that was funny.
Oh, that does seem like your type of movie, actually.
Like, how are you going to use Gatorade to water plants? It don't work like that.
Yeah, but I think that's the whole fucking point of that movie. Like, I need to watch that. I might actually watch that tonight because that's a funny ass movie. It's just that movie's just so ridiculous.
It's definitely a movie I need to watch again.
Well, I think especially with everything that's going on,
Riggedy wreck, son!
the
Yeah.
flowers need electrolytes, duh. Yeah, you gotta pump those electrolytes in them. You know, that's what gets them. How you doing, Dad? What's up, man? Yeah, he's got his own little slogan. Get rickety wreck, son. Well, I mean, it's Rick and Morty's slogan, but it's identifier when he comes into the chat. But
What does it play something?
what was that?
Does it play something?
Yeah, like plays like a sound. I can get it set up where if you type something.
Because I didn't hear anything.
Well, if you are listening to it, that's not good because then you would then we would probably have an echo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have like a fun echo, I mean, the other day, like my friend did that, and then it like became like a fucking song because the delay in the voices and it all mishmatched together.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was playing it on her side and I was listening to it on my side, and then it just got all funky. Got all funky. Where are you at in the process when it comes to driving, though, Ricky? Like, what are you currently doing? You said that you were. Is it about the car modification? I think you said or something.
No, I have my permit. It's just right now I'm having to find a company that's gonna let me that's equipped for me to drive. Because the last company I went through was Capital Rehab,
Right.
and they didn't have all they had was just a sedan car with the push pull and a tri-pin, and I wasn't strong enough to use either of those because I don't have triceps.
Right.
But so now I'm looking for another company to be like, "Hey, I'm looking to do some on the road training because I have my permit and everything." And yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I'm trying to get to the on the road training portion.
Well, what type of system do you think you may need, or do you not even know at this point?
Yeah, that's it. At this point, I don't even know.
Because I do know from seeing different equipment. I know that they have like straws that you can do stuff with the blowing and stuff like that. Or there's I know there's even like the joystick, which to me I'm like that sounds kind of crazy. But I mean, I guess if
I know, right?
like how would that even work? That seems awkward because it's like it's not like it's a fucking mech. Like that would be cool. Why can't they just give us mechs? I mean, that would just be so much fucking cooler. Like like just
There's a lot of things like that, Bill.
fuck your car. Just stomp stomp the cars. Just be like, fuck it, get out of my way. No,
Yeah,
but
I
there's a
think
lot of
Mexico solve
crazy
a lot.
equipment. There's a lot of crazy equipment that I saw that they can do, like stuff that I
Yeah.
don't even fucking know about.
So that's basically where I'm at that point. It's just like I'm getting my permit. I started the driving process about last year of March. I had an eval with a guy, and
Right.
then COVID hit, and then I went to go try and take my knowledge exam. I remember a couple months like a month or two later, and then I couldn't because I had a ticket from 2008 that I had to take a driver improvement course for. And from 2008, that was when I broke my neck. So it was like that was like a month before I broke my neck, I got that ticket. And so I thought that was already settled and things, but no, and then DMV issued me the driver improvement course while I was in the hospital, so I never knew about it. And then I had to take a driver improvement course back to as well. And then because of COVID, getting an appointment at the DMV was like a 2-month waiting list, so then I had to wait
Oh
another 2
god.
months just to go and take the knowledge test, and then I got the knowledge test, got my learner's permit, and then after that, I called the guy, I was like, "Oh, I'm ready to drive," and then he showed up with the car, and we transferred me to the driver's seat, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't do this," and he's like, "Yep, well." And so after that, that's when,
He just said, "Oh well."
I mean, I'm aggressively paraphrasing
More
at
or
this point, but
less, it was something along the lines of, "Oh, we can't do this." Fuck.
yeah. And that was back in early December, late November, I
Right.
believe. And so now this is where I am. I have my learner's permit, and now I just need to find a place that's going to allow me that has the equipment to be able to allow me to drive on the road. And then after that, I take my road test, get my license, and then get my van outfitted, and then I'm on the road working for
So,
Uber.
so any prospects on what that on that type of company? I mean, they don't seem like they're necessarily easy to find because like I did my own research before and it was a bit of a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, you know the part that was the pain in the ass too is the guy was like, he's like, "Don't worry, I know like 3 companies. Let me get your email, send you all the information today and stuff, and I'll make sure you get behind the wheel. It doesn't matter if you're going through restaurants or anything." And I was like, "Cool, awesome, thanks, man." And then a week passed by, I got no emails, nothing, and the guy just still hadn't sent me anything. So I sent them a text. I was like, "Hey, man, have you had a chance to send me the emails yet?" Another week goes by, nothing. And I was like, "Hey, man, have you had a chance to send me any of that information or anything?" And he sent me a text back. He said, "Places are closed. Try this place." And it was just a phone number to some place in Pennsylvania, which I still need to get in contact with. But it was just like, wow, you seem so eager to help me out now, but then you're like, you're ignoring my text and shit. And I had a bad experience with them.
Yeah, that's frustrating because I think what I had to use is I used like the something in DC. It was like DC like something. I don't know what the fuck it was. It's like
Well, if you come across the information for that, if you can send it my way, I would like that.
okay, so I'll wait like 4 weeks and then I'll send you an
Yeah.
email.
Wait a week, let me remind you, then wait another week, then let me remind you again, and then tell me the place is closed.
Yeah, places are closed, and then I'll give you the same number for that place. And it's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
No, but I do think that is just something in general that I've noticed, regardless of if we're talking about driving or whatever, is that you kind of have to be a squeaky wheel when it comes to a lot of these things. No pun intended there, talk about driving, but you really do have to be a squeaky wheel, because you know who's going to get the oil. I'm just saying, like sometimes with these things, it seems like you got to really press people on it, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know what makes it any harder to give someone information for this stuff than anything else. I mean, I don't think it's really that hard to do. I mean, is it really that hard to type a fucking email?
I don't
Nah,
know, man.
can't be. Can't be that hard. I mean,
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the $1,000,000 question.
I mean, so I mean,
Right,
it's
so
already been a bit of a process. So I mean, I guess people could pick
yeah.
up on the fact that if you're handicapped and you're trying to drive, it's a process.
Yeah, so I wish I started a lot earlier, but better late than never, I guess.
That's true. That's definitely true.
I stopped. I didn't want to because I was terrified of driving for the longest time. And then I figured I was like, I gotta get on that process now. But,
Yeah, it's probably
well,
yeah.
phew, whew. Any final thoughts on driving as we wrap ourselves up here? Like a comfortable burrito?
Or or just any
Any
thoughts on
questions from the chat?
anything that, well, I guess mostly stuff that has pertained to driving, because I mean, I don't know what other, I don't know what you'd bring out of left field. I was going to see real quick if I could kind of give you guys a little bit of a teaser for next week for what we're talking about. We'll give you some time. We'll give people some time to say something if you want to say something,
something.
or Glitch can say something. I guess.
I mean, I just figured, may as well. I mean, you're given time.
Yeah.
May as well say something at least. I mean, I don't have much to say on the topic of cars and driving, but at least I can say something.
So for next week, guys, speaking of trying to have my shit together, I wasn't able to pull up the calendar, and it took me forever. It's about being organized. So just think about that. So if you're a disorganized person, maybe that's the episode for you. So that's what we're going to be talking about. There's also the Discord, guys, which I'm trying to get to the point where we talk about stuff that's happening, and it's a place to share about accessibility. It's a place to share just thoughts on previous shows. Eventually, well, at some point, we're probably going to have it to where we'll come in. The three of us will come in there on a weekend or something, and then have a chat with anybody that wants to come in and just kind of hang out, and we can talk about the show. Any questions that you have about anything dealing with accessibility, I mean, you can also ask. I mean, we'll try our best to answer them, I guess.
We sure will.
But yeah, so that's my little blurb that I was going to give about for next week. So, and again, it's going to be the same time. So,
Alrighty then, folks. Join us on Discord. Everything else will be dropped in the description. You know where to find us. Tune in next week. Remember, keep it wheel.
and
Indeed.
we'll see you later.
Have a good one, everyone.